Maureen, I don't know what you were talking about. That was friggin' amazing. As Jenna had said earlier, and a lot of this, what does Tour de Pink mean to us? What does YSC mean to us? And, really, to tell you a little bit about our story, I have to start and talk about my wife, Erin, who unfortunately isn't here right now. Erin was diagnosed at the age of 32. I want to say it was 8, maybe 9 months after her mom had passed away from breast cancer. She had a mother, 3 aunts, and a grandmother who all were affected by breast cancer, and she's BRCA negative, so they just haven't found the gene yet. She decided, and we were dating. That was the other thing. I was the boyfriend at the time, so I didn't really think I had much say in it. But to tell you a little bit about our story, and YSC, it really goes back to what I call the 3 a.m. moments. When you find out that somebody you care about has cancer. And I was laying in bed next to Erin at 3 o'clock in the morning with a laptop on my stomach, researching, because that's what I do. I went into research mode. And, you Google young women, breast cancer, and who comes up? YSC. And I remember nudging her and saying, hey, wake up. There's young women here and they get cancer too, and look, let's talk about this. And she's like, yeah, rolls over and go back to bed. We'll talk tomorrow. And I became a lurker on the YSC message boards. And then I finally got brave enough to start asking questions, because it was like I was the boyfriend. I wasn't one of the women with cancer. And YSC really became a tool for me to help Erin and find, we used it to find doctors, to find out if they were good, if they were bad. Because Erin was living in the city and I was in Connecticut, we literally relied on these anonymous women who were amazing to help us make these decisions. And I was like the funnel. I would find the information and I would bring it to Erin, and it was like, no, this doctor sucks. This one screwed up my surgery. This one's fantastic, terrible personality, but who cares? You want a good cutter. And that's really how our involvement with the organization started. And Erin went on, she had she could have gone lumpectomy or bilateral mastectomy. With her family history, she decided to go with a bilateral nipple and areola sparing mastectomy. And during that time, we were again dating, and I had said, look, you're moving in. Like, we had her, she moved in after her surgery and she recovered at my house with me and my 3 other roommates. And it was, again, just because she was living in a 3rd floor walk-up in Manhattan and wasn't going to be able to, really take care of herself. And, that's when you realize that, you don't think, you just do it. And so she had her initial surgery, she stayed at my house, went back to the city, then came and stayed with me again after her final surgery. And I remember it was post-treatment. I was on a business trip and I get an email from Erin saying, I just signed up for this bike ride. I'm like, what bike ride? Who is it? She's like, it's YSC. And I was like, oh, well, hell yeah, I'm doing that. It's like, those are my cancer girls. What do you mean? Yeah, all right. And so we signed up as one-day riders, as Jenna said, and we were it was the Princeton year. The ride was around Jersey, and it was 10, right? 2010.
No, 11. 2011.
11?
2011.
11.
2011.
All right, so it was 11. So Erin and I are one-day riders. We're getting ready and training for this ride. I think I lost 50 pounds getting ready for the one-day ride, not knowing what the hell I was getting into. And and I hate hills in Pennsylvania, so this was good because it was flat, even though it was windy. And we do the ride, and I had decided that I wanted to find out a little bit more about this organization that had helped us so much. So we asked if we could come to the dinner on that night. And that was where Maureen spoke. And then after Maureen, Tony Dean, who's sitting in this room, somewhere he is in the corner, He's my roommate tonight. We're gonna be spooning later, just so you know. And, it's okay, Camille won't mind Tony, it's all good. So Tony was speaking about his friend Kristen Martinez, and he had just started Team Why We Ride that year, and his speech, it's on YouTube, it's amazing, but it really focused on that. This is why I ride, this is why I ride. And the whole time I'm sitting there looking at Aaron saying, I ride for her. And that's how, he finished speaking, I looked at Aaron and I said, we're coming back here next year and we're gonna raise a bucket load of money. And that next year, I had 2 friends who were one-day riders come with me. I rode 3 days. Erin was pregnant, so she was our personal SAG, which I know John Shockey doesn't like. But the cool thing about that dinner and that night was that was the first time I'd ever met a co-survivor, and it was Ricardo Gote, who's here. And this trip was this is the first time I've seen these guys since that night. So I just want to say thank you. Because it was amazing. It was getting to talk to somebody who had gone through it with their better half, who was young and dealt with the same issues. It hit me, and it really helped. And I was sitting there and I was talking to him, I was like, wow, I wish we had actually come and done some of this stuff when you were going through treatment as opposed to now after the fact. And Aaron talked to Maureen about what it was like to have RA, and it was just, I don't have words for it. So fast forward to the next year, and I've got this team of 3 people. We're a team I ride for her. And Dr. DuPont, who spoke last night, there she is, mentioned that we met on that ride. What she didn't say is that, I passed her going up over one of those bridges, and she's like, I'm gonna hide behind that big guy. And then we ended up trading pulls for the rest of the weekend. And I met, she was a team of 3, with Ishan Hargrove and Sarah Hargrove, Ishan's sister-in-law, and they were the Orchid Sisters. And, so we talked after the ride. Ishan and I spoke, and we had said, let's come back next year, and let's merge our teams, and let's raise even more money for this organization. And I can't not talk about our team without talking about Ishan, because she was that amazing, passionate advocate. She was a medical professional. She had no illusions about, her disease, and she really affected everyone that she met in that way and made them want to do more, do better, do greater, help everyone in every way that you can. And, I'll always be grateful for that from her. So that first, we merged our teams. That year we came back, and we had gone from raising, I think, $7,000 each. Each of our little teams of 3 had raised about $7,000. And we came back with a team of like 20 or 30 people and raised $43,000. Then our competitive side got out because we didn't even place in the fundraising. We were really upset. Yeah, that damn Tony Dean again. And Lisa Frank. And the next year we came back and we raised, I think, $1,000 less. It was $42,000. And the next year we came back again, and we crushed it.
Hell yeah!
We crushed it. We raised $105,000. So then what did we do? And this is, again, Ishan, huge part of that. She was a state leader for Florida. And she kept saying, when are you guys gonna come to Florida? When are you gonna come to Florida? You need to come to Florida. We have people here. We already, half of our team is in Florida. Just do it and we'll come. And thank you. You did. So we're fundraising for Florida. You know, Ishan's got a team. I wasn't planning on coming down. I'm going to be captaining the East Coast team. And Ishan's health took a turn, and I was lucky enough to be in Florida and got to see her a few days before she passed away. And it was a gift because we both got to say everything we ever wanted to say, and 90% of what we talked about was YSC. And I don't know who else knows, but one of the things that our team has done, we lost a teammate last year, and we rode the Tour de Ping with her, you know, with her ashes. And Ishan asked that she asked, I need you to come and ride in my place. I said, okay. It's a month away. No problem. I haven't trained. I'm fat and out of shape. I don't normally start training until May. No problem. And I was like, and you'll be there, you'll be on the sidelines. And she had said, you know, Pablo, I won't be there. I'll be on the clouds riding on top of you guys. And she asked me to carry her ashes the same way we had done for our teammate Bobby. So Dr. DuPont yesterday carried Ishan. Today I rode 100 miles with her. And tomorrow Dr. DuPont's gonna ride with her again. And this is why we ride. This is why we do it. When I find out, you know, and everything happens for a reason. I found out that Ishan passed away while I was pissed off looking for parking in New York to attend my first meeting of the board of directors for YSC. And great way to make a first impression, I'll tell you. I walked in, I'd never been to headquarters. Jen walks up, gives me a huge hug. She looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? I was like, she passed 45 minutes ago. So the entire board is sitting there at this big glass wall, and I walk in, hug her, start crying, and we walk away. It's like, well, that's awkward. And we came in and we dedicated the meeting to her, and we started to do work, which is what she would have wanted. And that's what keeps me coming back, is that she wanted us to do that work, and we're doing it. And you know, I looked back, and since we started, you know, we've raised almost, you know, $230,000 for this organization. And then I look at Tony, and he's over 300 probably, you know, and that's just from hearing, you know, if I hadn't heard Tony speak, it would have been a great bike ride that we showed up at, and that was it. And that's what this is about. You know, you don't know or understand this until you're here and experience it. And once you experience it, it's life-changing. And that's really, you know, the thing that I would want everybody to understand is tell as many people as you can about this, because it's friggin' amazing. And I would say something else except I don't want to pay $5. That's really it, guys. Thank you so much.